Hi, friends. Welcome to the No No Show. I am Nicole Marguerite, and this is my show. I'll have conversations with special guests each month that I hope will spark a love evolution. Let's talk about all things that aren't supposed to talk about. This is a special show for me. In this episode, I'm interviewing disability rights advocate Kecia Weller. Kecia has over 30 years of experience in providing direct advocacy and support for individuals with developmental disabilities. She is a leader in the disability rights movement. I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get the show on the road. Thank you for coming on to the No No Show, Kecia Weller. I really appreciate you for coming with me and being interviewed by me. I really appreciate it a lot. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful and honored that you are here with me at this moment in time in your life. So thank you, Kecia, for being here.
Yes, Nicole, I am truly honored to be on the No No Show with you because I know that your work on the No No Show and State Council is very impactful for everyone.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So hi everyone, this is the No No Show, and this is Kecia Weller, and I'm gonna have an amazing time with this amazing human. And so I'm going to start off with this amazing first question. You have been a disability rights advocate for 30 years. Can you tell us more about your journey and the areas of the focus you have changed in the last decade?
Yes, I'll be very pleased to do that. I started with being people for the People First of California. I was the very first statewide advocacy news reporter for the People First Star, which was the magazine at the time, and I reported advocacy news from all the 13 other regional reports, and I did that for about 4 years. At that time, I was working at the uh, university, actually, it's the Southern California University, uh, UAP, which is University Applied Program, and I really enjoyed that. And then in 1998, I was working at the Westside Regional Center as the very first self-advocacy coordinator, and that was very exciting. I eventually quit in 2010, and in 2012, Governor Jerry Brown, he appointed me to the State Council on Developmental Disabilities, and I served on the State Council for 6 years. And then in 2013, California Health and Human Services Agency Secretary Diana Dooley appointed me to serve on the Developmental Services Task Force, and I really like that particular task force because because I'm helping to create a more equitable system for the developmental sectors in California, which are state hospitals. Unfortunately for us, most of the state hospitals have been closed, and I'm really excited about that. But in 2012, my primary focus changed to being a national sexual violence prevention advocate. And so I've been doing that work for since 2012. As of 2024, I am a professional sexual violence prevention peer coordinator working with the Board Resource Center.
That's amazing. I'm really uh, grateful that were on the state council for 6 years, just like myself, and I'm glad you had that time in your life to advocate for what's important to you. I knew people who were a part of the Me Too movement. If you are comfortable talking about this sensitive topic, can you please tell me about your Me Too movement?
Yeah, of course. But before I do that, I want to do a trigger warning for the audience because I'm talking about a very sensitive subject about sexual assault here. And if you need to step away from the YouTube video to take care of yourself, please do that. One of my Me Too moments is when I invited a fellow self advocate over to my house to play chess with me, and he ended up raping me quite violently. I tried to report the rape to the police officer where I live, but they said it's a he said, she said incident. And it seemed to me that the community services police officer was actually taking the perpetrator's side. I can't I can't prosecute the perpetrator in my rape. I went to my service coordinator at my regional center, and even though she's a mandated reporter, she didn't report the rape to the Adult Protective Services Agency. The system that was supposed to help me and protect me, it actually failed me, and I actually feel re-victimized um from the system that failed to assist me. I went into a depression for a couple years where I gained a lot of weight, but eventually I admitted to one of my service providers that I had been raped, and I was able to get into trauma informed care into a therapist that was trauma informed. And I healed from the rape and my other sexual assaults. And now I'm turning the lemon into lemonade, and I've become a professional sexual violence prevention advocate activist. And I absolutely love helping other people in the same situation, people with intellectual developmental disabilities.
I can't imagine what you had to go through. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. How do these events affect your mental health journey and emotional well-being? How did this impact your life, especially knowing the offenders are still out there?
Yes, I know. That's working with that's difficult because I know that the people who have given me sexual violence in my life are still out there. And in the beginning, I was really nervous and scared that they were still out there, and that when I was still dealing with the trauma of it, it was very difficult. And one thing that I was doing to help me get through the trauma and the emotional discord was I did stuff like dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy as well. There's different therapeutic modes I have used in my life that help me come to peace with what they did. A other thing that I did, which was very difficult, is I actually forgave them. for each person who raped me or sexually assaulted me, I actually forgave them. I gave them my peace, and I said to them, spiritually, emotionally, you don't have to. I forgive you with all my heart because you're another human being, and perhaps you're just an evil person. But I forgave them, and it put me at peace, and I was able to love everybody again.
That's amazing. I'm glad you forgave the perpetrators, and people should do that a lot more. For forgiveness, and for taking care of your own mental health and what you need to do for yourself. So that's amazing. Um, Go piggyback on that question. I'd like to know a little bit more about your journey as a survivor. Any advice to give to others for overcoming trauma?
Yeah, definitely. Um, one thing that I tell one thing I tell survivors is to get professional support, like a therapist that is trauma informed and knows all about that. A person who is relatable. Perhaps you need somebody who is same gender, like a female to female, or male to male, or somebody more fluid therapist who is on the LGBT plus spectrum, stuff like that. The other thing is to take your time. Healing from a sexual assault is not linear, meaning that you are going to have your ups and downs, and it's important to realize that. Also, I believe prioritizing self care. Like when I was healing from my sexual assaults, I was very much into myself, and so I tend to isolate. But as I grew and as the more healing occurred, I became out of my shell, and I was able to help more and more people deal with this. Establish safety boundaries, like be safe in your environment, and also this involves setting good boundaries, because one of the things that get put me up for sexual violence is that I didn't have good boundaries. I didn't know that a homeless man who was putting his hand in my private parts was actually doing anything wrong. But somebody reported that to the police for me, and once I got that, I got very good boundaries, and so I know what's going on. I also journal a lot too, because my journal is my own sounding board, and I could talk about all my feelings.
Thank you for letting everybody know about your survival journey. I really appreciate, and I can't imagine what you had to go through at this point in your life. It is a really hard topic and a really hard thing to go through, and it's about sex education as well, and knowing our bodies and why we had to go through sexual assault in the first place, and we shouldn't. It's not okay. So thank you for letting everybody know what it really entails. So thank you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Nicole, because the stats on people with disabilities getting sexual education in school is very, very low, and that's one of the things I'm advocating for in my own work as a sexual prevention activist, is to help more schools have sex ed for people with disabilities so that we know what to look for.
So people with disabilities and the elderly are much more likely to experience sexual assault or abuse compared to other groups of people. There's a larger percentage of people who were sexual assaulted. It is never reported because they can't even communicate or they are ignored by enforcement. Are there any other factors involved, like overcoming the fear of being judged or ashamed or embarrassed?
Yeah, very much so. Like when I have talked to sexual assault survivors myself in my work, a lot of them tell me that the fear of retaliation by the perpetrator, they are afraid that the perpetrator, especially if it's a caregiver that they know, like a family member, they fear that they're going to be sexually assaulted again or hurt by the perpetrator. And so I definitely understand that one because I have felt it myself. Also, the lack of awareness of education. Individuals might not be aware that they are experiencing sexual assault. Just like I told you about with a homeless man feeding me up through my clothes at my crossing guard post. And so that's very important to do is education. Also, there's social stigma and shame. Fear of being judged, shame from not believed by others is a significant barrier. This is also compounded by societal stereotypes about disability or age. Also, a other thing is dependence on the abuser. Like many victims rely on the abusers for care, support, and financial stability, which makes it very difficult for them to report or leave the situation.
Thank you so much for letting everybody know about your experience. So I really appreciate that. What is being done in the public policy to make law enforcement and the medical personnel don't agree or deny an individual claim or sexual assault like they did with you?
Well, one thing that they're doing is they're doing training programs. Many jurisdictions have started mandatory training programs for law enforcement officers and medical personnel to handle sexual assault. And I just want to put in that when they do have training programs, that people with disabilities who have experienced sexual violence in their lifetimes have to be on the training team because as the old disability model says, nothing matters without us. Everybody, people with disabilities who are sexual assault survivors have to be on the training teams. Other thing is that police departments have specialized units that help that focus purely on sexual violence. And these units have police officers, social workers, and mental health people, and also sane nurses, which is a sexual assault examiner nurse, and that's very important to have as well.
How can people get involved in this movement to support policy changes?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that is important is to educate yourself and other people. Like learn about the issues surrounding sexual harassment and assault. And also, the more informed you are, the better that you are able to do policy work. Like what I've done is that like I'm co-founder of the Silence Equals Violence Network, and that's a network that is in the California, and it has to do with people with disabilities on one end, and the other end is Department of Aging. So we put them all together, and we definitely say to everyone, we are preventing sexual assault against these two particular people. A other thing is support survivors. Learn, learn, learn and believe about survivor stories. Offer emotional support and direct survivors to get help if they need it. Create, create a supportive environment. Crucial for survivors to feel safe and validated. Advocate for policy changes. Contact your local representatives, in your perhaps your city council, your state legislators, and your federal legislators as well, so that we make laws that hold perpetrators accountable for sexual violence. Also, this can include advocating for better training for law enforcement, stricter enforcement of sexual harassment policies, and very much supporting victim rights.
Thank you so much for this amazing topic that you shared with us about sexual assault. I really appreciate it a lot. I would like to do something fun with you and get out of our shells and maybe have some fun with one another and enjoy one another. So I have some questions based on some fun stuff now. Are you willing to have some fun with me?
Oh, I would love to have some fun with you, Nicole.
Sounds good. So if you weren't doing the career you have now, what other career would you do?
If I wasn't doing the career I'm doing now, what would I do? Well, when I was a youngster, I so much wanted to be an astronaut because I absolutely love learning about astronomy, the stars, the universe, and I always wanted to go in outer space and perhaps go out to Mars.
Okay, that sounds fun. What is the best advice that someone has given you?
The best advice that anybody has told me is to be myself, and for that, being Kecia is great because I'm a humanitarian. I believe in everybody being a human being, and so when somebody makes a mistake or stuff like that, I say to them, "Well, you're a human being because you're not perfect." And I'm also for universal love, just like you are. I'm um I'm being Kecia means to me is always being supportive of people and being open minded.
What is something that nobody knows about you?
Oh, nobody knows about me. I would think that what they don't know about me is that sometimes I could be a recluse. Well, a that meaning that sometimes I could be someone who is an introvert because my outgoing personality on the Big Meyer criteria is that I'm an extrovert. But when I get done from a conference or something like that, with people all day, I naturally become an introvert to help me re-energize my batteries again, so I'm able to go serve humanity in any way I can.
That's amazing. Since this is the no-no show, I like to ask you, what is a big no-no in our modern society?
Well, one thing which is a big no-no for me is not respecting somebody's boundaries. Like when especially for people with disabilities, because when somebody sets a boundary, then they need it to be solid. Like for example, when I set a boundary, and I for matter of fact, I told somebody not to kiss me, and he ended up kissing me anyways, and I got upset because he had crossed the boundary. That's a big no-no for me, because when somebody sets up firm boundaries, they need to be always respected.
Thank you for opening up your heart with me and talking about big no-no. So that's why we have consent. That's why we talk about our bodies and communicate with everybody about ourselves and our bodies, and we should take care of ourselves first and foremost.
Thank you. I'm in Nicole. I just want to tell you that I'm all in for cassette. I've written a couple of white papers on cassette myself, and a lot of people don't know that cassette can be given, and then it can also be withdrawn. And so if I give cassette for a certain kind of touch or what have you on my physical body, I have the right to take it away too, and they need to respect that boundary.
Yes, but there's also other elements to, like trust and opening up your heart and all these other things that you have to accomplish before anything else. That there's the consent part, but there's also other elements that get there as well. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I definitely agree, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Kecia, for coming.
It's my pleasure, Nicole. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on that no show with you.
You're welcome. Hi everyone. I just watched on my birthday, my 29th birthday, and I decided to go and watch Bob Marley One Love movie. I really enjoyed it myself on a personal level. It hits home for me on a personal level as well, because that's what I believe in, is what Bob Marley believes in as well. This movie inspired me to be who I am as a human being, first and foremost. What he wanted was peace, and he tried his best to get where he was at his time in his life before we had social media and the media that changed us and who we are. I call it old-fashioned, but people will come together to concerts like Stagecoach and Coachella and made peace. I recommend this movie hard-heartedly about his life. This movie is just an amazing movie. I can't explain anything in detail. You have to go and watch it. This is why I have the No Show. This is why I have No Call for Love website. Because the common core of everything I stand for, and my common belief and value, it's just like Bob Marley, and what he stands for: love, peace, and acceptance for once and for all minority groups that are not represented and not talked about especially shows that represent who we are. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention?
I dedicate this segment to a very brave teenager, Nex Benedict from Oklahoma, who made national headlines recently. Nex was a 16-year-old student who identified as non-binary and was bullied by classmates in high school, and tragically died the day after they were attacked by 3 classmates in the girls' bathroom. At this time, investigators are trying to determine if the death of Nex was caused by a brutal beating or possibly suicide. The autopsy results show Nex did not die from trauma. It doesn't matter. Either way, bullying and anti-transgender discrimination played a major role in Nex's very needless and tragic death. And I'm really upset about this. When are we done with hate? When will young people in schools accept people's differences and see people as human beings first? The day before Nex died, they told the police that the girls who made the attack were making fun of the way Nex dressed and bullied them. Nex was instructed to ignore the girls. Oklahoma passed a law that requires students in K-12 schools to use bathrooms that were assigned to their gender at birth, not the gender they identify with. Nex was born female and used the bathroom they were legally assigned. Sue Benedict, Nex's mother, said in an interview that the bullying began shortly after the Oklahoma governor signed a bill prohibits transgender public schools students from using their bathroom that matches their gender identity. This is a preventable tragedy, and regardless of Nex's death being caused by the physical assault or from suicide, it needs to stop. No one should have to die as a result of not being accepted by others. According to research from the Trevor Project, the LGBTQ teens are 4 times more likely to make suicide attempts as a result of bullying. I want to take a 60-second moment of silence to light a candle in honor of Nex's life and to pray for the healing of people, young and old, who have hate in their hearts. If you want to show your support, please donate to the GoFundMe that have been established for the family of Nex Benedict. Thank you.